All right, so what are you going to be using the shoes for today? You training for a marathon, just walking around town?
Coming up training for a half marathon, and then I'm just a casual runner in between all that.
Okay. About how many miles a week are you trying to build up to for your marathon prep?
So right now I'm about 15 to 20 miles, and I'd like to build up from there to make a half marathon comfortable, potentially a full marathon later on.
Okay, and then primarily on road,
Yes,
trail?
sir. Road.
Okay. All right, too easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a step on that white scanner there first. So just have your feet right there in those rectangles. Avoid those black dots and black lines. And then give your toes a little wiggle so that way your feet fully relax. All right, and then hold still for me.
So if you can explain to us, what is this scan doing right now?
Yeah, so this scan, this is the one that's getting the exact length of your foot, the width of your foot. It's getting us the arch height. And also it's gonna, if you look at the little post there, it's actually scanning down to the ankles. So it's gonna be able to see if there's any sort of collapsing as well.
Okay, and what does that show us on the iPad here?
So this is gonna be the visual for it. It's got your 360 view for the feet. It's going to go through the width there of her feet. So it has a 8.4 and 8.2, which we're going to round up, and we'll go over that in a second. The next one it's going to do is the ball width here. And for women, a regular is a B and a wide is a D. And then the last one is really going to be the arch height, and that's the last one we care about, which we see that her left foot's a low and her right foot's a more medium.
Okay, great.
All right, so the next one, if you go ahead and take a step off, and go ahead and turn around for me. We're going to do the dynamic scan. So all you're going to do is you're going to start on that end, walk all the way across, off the end, turn it around, and then walk back. And we're going to do this a whole bunch of times until it tells us we're good to go. So go ahead.
All right, so what's this looking at now?
This one, we're going to be looking at pressure points of her feet as she's walking. It's also going to be able to tell us if she's pronating, supinating, or if she's more centered for that pressure distribution. And the last one is it's going to look at her arch flexibility. Is it more flexible? Is it more rigid? Or is it more just neutral for her? Okay, so if you can start with your left foot for me. All right, perfect. And so now we have the full scan, and what we can do is we can take a look at this here. I don't know if you want to.
Yeah.
So it needed 3 reads per foot. And so here we're able to see all the pressure that she's putting on her feet. And so she has a lot on the heel on that right foot, and really most of her pressure is on that right foot, a little bit on that left foot. But what we do is we use this to help find an insole that's going to help even all that pressure out, so that way it's even throughout the foot. And then the next one we're going to want to look at is up here around the toe. So when you see any sort of pronating, you see a lot of pressure at the base of that big toe right there, which she doesn't have. So the next one we're going to do is we're going to look at pressure distribution here on the right side, and we see that she's more center to lateral. What the rule of thumb that we use, and makes it real simple, is when we see anything centered and then one lateral, or if it's centered and medial, we're going to pull a neutral shoe for you. If anything is centered, we're going to pull a neutral. The reason is, if we do a stability for you, it's going to end up pushing you too far one way or the other, right? Which is going to create some other issues. The next one is going to be the arch flexibility. And so you're right there in the moderate, which just means it's just normal movement in your shoe. So we don't have to take any special considerations into that. If we were to go back to the first scan here, if it's going to load for us. There we go. All right, so first thing we're going to take a look at is the size of your feet. So you're at an 8.4 and an 8.2. So we always base it off of the bigger foot. If that bigger foot's happy, the smaller foot's going to be just fine. So we take that 8.4, round it to the next closest half, and that's going to be an 8.5, and then we go up another half size to a 9. We go up that half size to allow for any swelling that's going to happen as you're walking or running. The next one we're going to look at is the ball width. As I mentioned before, a regular is a B and a wide is a D. So that right foot is on the wider side, and that lets us know that we're going to want to look at a wide shoe today. And then the last one here is that arch height. And so you're a low to medium. And just like on that first scan, that pressure point, we're going to use this to round off that insole that we're going to find you, right? It gives us the exact arch height. And so the insoles are going to put a little extra padding on the heel and that front foot. And then the primary goal is to fill that negative space underneath your foot, right? It just adds a little bit extra support. It's going to bend and move with you, but it's just, again, a little extra support to make life more comfortable for you.
All right, what'd you think of the process, Ms. Jones, huh?
It was really awesome. It was not what I expected as far as what my results are. So it's interesting to look back at all the running shoes that I've had over the years and what I've chosen. And some things I've been spot on about, some things I haven't been. So it'll be fun to be able to try on some different shoes and then kind of take them out for a run and see what works better.
All right. Well, thanks for volunteering.